Another great Sunday evening is here for us to look at politics. Today is Sunday. I'm Sulaiman Alede, and today we have quite a number to look at. And don't forget, it was only just a week ago we started a brand new year. We'll start it off by looking at expectations by many Nigerians that they'll be having for the year 2017 in the area of the fight against corruption and many more. Don't also forget that we also have that look about what the outlook just might look like for 2017 in terms of our economy. But this evening we're looking at one sore point that has refused to go. It has to do with the executive and the legislative arm, talking about some mention of the president's men, specifically that of the secretary to the government of the Federation. Recall what has happened from the Senate and how much of that document has been flying back and forth, and the talk from the SGF showing some form of proof to exonerate himself out of that report by the Senate committee. But again, this time around, the news is that another group has gone out to do its own independent finding, and they have come up with that report. Today we'll be looking at that report, plus what many other Nigerians will be thinking in terms of this fight against corruption. Don't also forget that it was only in February of last year that the President of the Senate met with Senator Inaya Abaribe and a couple of others from southeast of the country, talking about the Made in Aba products, and he has taken that a little bit further to see how much of campaign he can bring to the table on Made in Nigeria goods. And he says this is just another initiative to help us stay out of recession. We'll also be looking at that. Don't also forget that we started off our conversation on the oil benchmark for the 2017 budget and how much that can really play out, looking at what OPEC members and non-OPEC members alike have been bringing to the table. This evening we have four gentlemen who will be looking at all of these issues, but I have two of them that I'll be speaking with on the first matter. Joining us from our Abuja studios is Aliyu Audu. He's a member of the All Progressives Congress Youth Wing, and Garba Ibrahim, convener Citizens Action to Take Back Nigeria. Gentlemen, good to have you on the program this evening. Very quickly, let's start off with you, Garba Ibrahim. You have come up, you and your group have come up to react to what has been going on in 2016, which is still very much there this year, 2017. It has to do with the allegations against the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Tell us what you have come up with.
Thank you, Suleiman. Good evening, Nigerians and viewers. Well, straight to the point, we were able to consider the fact that initially we had the impression, based on the rulings of the Senate committee on the Senate floor, we also took to the part of the Senate committee because we believed that, yes, the Senate is an institution whereby we must respect whatever decision the Senate must have come out with. And for that reason, our organization came out quickly to actually support their decision initially, because thinking that the silence from the part of the Secretary to the Federal Government's office means like complicity. And for that reason, we went further. And when we made a press release, and incidentally, we were shocked when we had a shocker, because it turns out to be that most of the reports, or the content of the reports from the Senate, actually misinformed Nigerians in such a way that everybody was thinking that this particular issue was strictly about cutting of grass within the IDP communities, particularly the IDP camps. So people were thinking it is the contract was awarded 270 million was awarded just to cut grass. And most of us in Abuja and Lagos took to the street. We're like, wow, cutting of a grass. And we felt, no, we need to find out further. But when we discovered that, no, even the allegation about the corruption pointing directly on one person, we felt, no, the Senate were like playing politics with that. Why am I saying this? Because when we went on ground to find out in the first place, based on the accusation, it was said that the Senate, that is this SGF, awarded the contract to his own company. We felt, okay, which one among the two companies are his own companies? We now realize that they were referring to Roller Vision, that he was formerly a director in that company. formerly a director. But now, when we discover, we realize that Roller Vision only had a contract of 7 million naira. And in the entire report of the Senate, not even what they mentioned on the floor, there was no mentioning of 7 million. We were like, what? 7 million naira? But why are they giving impression that the company got a job over 270 million? Now, we now realize that it is a company that called Justmond Technologies that actually got that contract of 270 million. And you know what is funny about that? The owner of this particular company, who happens to be twins. He has a twin brother, and that twin brother is the PA of the chairman of that committee, which is Senator Shosani. So nobody, no committee or no organization will get this information and just assume you're going to sit down without going on the field to find out what really happened. And also in that same allegation, they allege that clearly that this same Justmond company actually paid some amounts that are worth 200 million to this same Roller Vision as a kickback. Now, we now went on to also find out how possible can you be given a contract of 270 million and you pay a contract, you pay a kickback which worth 200 million. It is obvious that if such happens, then probably the contract was not executed. And for that reason, we now said, no, we need to go and find out. Let us go to these particular places where this contract was executed. We went there, we saw the component of this contract. Don't forget, it was one, the clearing of the water channels. Those grass, the invasive grass known as typer grass, has actually over time grown up within the water channels, and it has caused impediments. The water was not flowing. It caused kind of flood from the upper side of the river, which consists of Hadeja, Nguru, and even part of the Jama'ari, because there's a wetland that covers about 3,500 kilometers square within that axis of the northeast, which consists of about 3 states and also about 12 local governments within the 3 states.